Hello, everybody. Never knows. Thank you so much for that raid. Hello, R-Knight. R-Knight is here. Never knows. Tonda. Hello, Tonda. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here for the next episode of the Awesome Streamer Hour. I'm really excited. Never knows. What were you playing? What were you doing? Also, Never knows is going to be on the show next on Friday. We're going to do the Awesome Streamer Hour with Nevanos as well. It's going to be really awesome, and I can't wait for that conversation. I hope you had a really good broadcast. Hi, Tonda. Tonda, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in and saying hi. I'm really excited to bring on our next guest of the Awesome Streamer Hour. This is the third episode. I hope I'm getting better at doing these because A, they're really fun, and B, I love learning about everybody's journey through doing this, and having conversations with people that we normally don't get another way to have this conversation. Yes, we're going to be talking about Caffeine Daydream. Caffeine Daydream. I can't wait to have this conversation. You bashed Super Mario 2 and casually played Super Metroid and endlessly hyped for Judgment being on PC. Look, even Bobby has joined us. Look at her, little sleepy. Is that Ash said hi? Is that our Knight who we had on the last episode of the Awesome Streamer Hour? Yo, thank you so much for being here, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Let us get started and bring on. Hi, Astro Josh. Hello, welcome. And also, chat, please feel free. If you have any questions or anything like that, make sure to put them in the chat. Definitely would love to ask Caffeine Daydream all the questions that you all have. Yo, BBP, hello, welcome. And without further ado, let's bring on Caffeine Daydream. Viz Ness, hello, Caffeine Daydream. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, everybody. What's going on? How are y'all doing tonight? What's up, Ash?
Yo, what's up? Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited. I'm so glad we get to have a conversation, talk about things. Yo, how you feeling today? What you been up to?
I'm feeling pretty good. I am caffeinated. I am a little nervous, but hey, I'm here and I'm ready to have some fun. So let's do it.
Yes. Yo, that's so awesome. I know I'm a little nervous too, not gonna lie. Every time I do one of these, I'm always like, oh my gosh, let me make sure I got all my things together. How's the sound going? Is the light good? Is it gonna work? So I know those pre-stream jitters, I think even if you've been broadcasting for a long time, they kind of never go away, which you just celebrated a 2-year anniversary, right?
I did indeed. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of stuff never goes away. I know MRR Knight actually, and if that's how you actually pronounce it, Knight.
He refuses to tell me.
I know he does. I know. That was the big joke in the last episode. I did catch both of those, both with Street Grind and Night, and those were great VODs to check out. So definitely check those out. But yeah, I'm doing well, and yeah, it seems like those jitters never quite go away. But I'm doing well, all things considered. And I'm here to have some fun, enjoy ourselves, and and try this out. This is kind of a new feature, so there's a lot of new things going on. So it's interesting to see how it all works out and getting to get to try this out.
Yeah, I think it might be cool to eventually, once it gets out of alpha and really has all the bells and whistles to use this to do community gaming. Maybe we should do a sanctuary team gaming night where all of the people jump on guest star, and then we could play Mario Party 1 together, especially since that was just announced for multiplayer on the Switch.
That'd be dope. That sounds like a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, because I feel like I need to show people that we have the Mario Party skills. I mean, usually I'm untouchable in that game, but I don't know. Yeah. Maybe somebody might come with the heat. You never know.
We need to bring it. That would be great to actually do not only our team as a team-based sort of team building type thing with our individuals, but also team versus team action. What do you think, Ash?
Ooh, I love that
What
idea,
do you think?
actually.
Sanctuary versus Knights of the Round, type of thing going on? What do you think, Knight?
Yo, that's going on
She's
the
writing it
famous
down.
Post-it note. That's going
Write
on
it
the
down.
Post-it note. Team versus team Mario
Wouldn't that be
Party.
dope? That sounds like a good idea, actually. No, no joke.
I love it.
That
I
sounds
love it.
cool.
I love it. So, okay. So tell us, okay, Caffeine Daydream, tell us a little bit about you and your channel. Um, what do you want everybody to know about you?
Let me see. So my elevator pitch, which I'm probably gonna go much longer, but is basically like my name's Caffeine Daydream. I am a big fan of like coffee and espresso and stuff like that. So I really tailored myself and I guess my channel around that type of theme. And so I play a lot of retro and indie games, and I'm a variety streamer, so I don't just stick to one type of game. I play a lot of different things. And I kind of took my channel, like I sort of emulated a little bit of like some of the other good streamers that I saw, like Knight, like Grunt, like Choke, that do a lot of like first playthroughs and like to just make their way through a game. Although I like to use the manuals, I know Knight opts not to use the manuals. I actually will look at the manual, as I feel that that's relevant information that would have been provided to you at the time, especially when you're playing like a NES game or a SNES game back in the day. But I like to go through and do these first playthroughs. Sometimes I'll do playthroughs that I've done before, but we just like to have some fun and joke around and just play some cool old games and also some indie games, newer style, like Cuphead or The Messenger, things like that are like kind of newer, might have a sort of retro feel to them, but are newer release games. And yeah, just like to have some fun, enjoy ourselves. I work a full-time job. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and so I have 4 children. And so when I'm not working, when I'm not with the family and sleeping, I'm streaming on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's just kind of a fun thing to do and get to hang out with some cool individuals at the same time, and also meet some cool people along the way. So yeah, that's kind of what my page is all about.
Oh man, I love it. You gave me so many like things that I want to ask you questions about. Like, first of all, I
Sure.
really love the sentiment that you shared about meeting cool people and, like just connecting with others through Twitch. I feel like that's like the biggest strength that Twitch has is like,
Hmm.
I found
Yeah.
so many incredible people to meet and like talk to and connect with. So I really vibe with you on that point.
Hmm.
And you also mentioned that, you're a father, a husband. How do you balance, your work life and your streaming life and your job life with all of these things? Because that could be really
Yeah.
tough.
It is tough. It's a juggling of everything. So really, I just tried to find a good fit for what works for me. I used to actually, honestly, I used to actually stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I used to work full time, 40 hours, and then after work, I'd probably have, I don't know, an hour or two or something, and then I'd stream for 8 hours. I was doing 40 hours and then 40 hours of streaming. So I found that that was a bit too much for me, so I scaled it back and I went and I've tried out a couple different combinations of scheduling, but I've now fallen into the routine of Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, with Tuesday and Thursdays as like sort of rest days from the whole streaming thing, and then weekends as well are a time for me to just be with my family and hang out and just sort of rest and recuperate so that I can try to bring the vibes and bring the fun without having too much stress and being overworked and having like not enough sleep and everything. So really I just try to keep things in moderation. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday for me has been a good combination.
I love that.
uh
I love that you had to experiment and then kind of learn and then learn what was right for you and make those
mhm.
adjustments and like,
Yeah.
be open about those adjustments. Cause sometimes
Yeah.
people might feel like, oh, there's something wrong with me, or like, like I gotta figure out how to make it work. So instead of
Hmm.
forcing something to work, you found out like, okay, no, this is not
Yeah.
right for me. Let me figure it out and do this a better way. I really love that you did that.
Yeah, it's good to find that combination that works for you, and it's going to be different for everybody. So based upon each person's individual like responsibilities and needs and everything. So for myself, honestly, I felt that that was the good combination that I've sort of fell into. And I think keeping a good schedule when it comes to streaming is a good thing to have, because then people will know when you're going to go on and when you're going to be available, unless you specify otherwise. But yeah, it just it doing the 5 day a week thing, stress got real stressful. So there were times where I would take a stretch and then just not stream at all. And
Yeah.
so and then I think I did like a 1 day or a 2 day a week thing, and then I fell into the 3 day a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think it's just good to space out based upon my needs and my responsibilities. So everybody's different. So I
Yeah.
definitely think that people need to really look into it and see what works for them.
Yeah, a lot of people, whenever they ask me, Ash, what's the most important thing about having any form of success on Twitch? The first thing I always tell people is consistency in terms of
Hmm.
schedule, or consistency in terms of how you want to present yourself. I think that those are really important things. And I think you've got that going. You figured it out. You're like, all right, this is what works to me. And now we're going to stick to it. So I think that that's really cool that you did that.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's something that everybody needs to discover for themselves, but I do think that is an important part as well, for yourself and for others.
All right. So I got another question for you. Why the name Caffeine Daydream? Tell us the story behind that name.
That's interesting, because I when I started out on the Twitch platform, I actually historically I wasn't on Twitch until I want to say either 20 it must have been either late 2018 or 2019 at some point. And I kind of found it because I was watching the GDQ marathons, like, AGDQ, SGDQ, which is Awesome Games Done Quick, Summer Games Done Quick, for those that don't know. And I was watching those actually off of Twitch. I was not watching on the Twitch platform. I was on the actual website for the Games Done Quick event. And they would always talk about Twitch, and during these donations, sort of rallies, they'd be like, go Twitch chat and stuff like that. And I was like, what's this Twitch platform? So I got on there and I started following some of my favorite streamers and whatnot. But I actually had a different name at that point in time, that was based off of something completely different. And so when I came to the idea that, I might want to stream on the platform, I said, I want to come up with something that would be good for, sort of my brand and sort of what I'm about, which again, coffee and espresso is sort of a thing that I'm sort of passionate about, sort of a hobby of mine. So I was like coming up with different names, and based upon what Twitch actually has available to them, I ended up falling into sort of different combinations of names that are around that. And Caffeine Daydream was available. So I was like, you know what? I like it. Sort of describes me. Um, it's sort of catchy and interesting. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. And so that's how I fell into it. And that's the name I've been using ever since. Yep.
Okay, okay, I love it. So you said coffee's a hobby for you.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Cobra Clips. Hello, Broom Hatter. Hi, John. Hello, everyone. So, how does one make coffee a hobby? Like, do you like brew a lot of coffee? Do you go to a lot of coffee tastings? Like, tell us about that.
I've never worked as a barista, and I've never actually gone to a coffee tasting before, actually. I'll but see, I sort of fell into it that, just like any person, when you're young, you might go to Dunkin' Donuts or something, and then maybe Starbucks. You start off with sort of like these sugary type drinks like frappuccinos or culottes, stuff like that, that you just, very sort of fun to drink and everything. And so as I grew older, it's sort of coffee sort of became a thing like it does for most adults, nothing special there. But um, I started getting into drinking black coffee, and then like espresso and cappuccinos and stuff like that. And then I don't know, it just became something that was like, well, if I'm going to go out to purchase it from somewhere else and pay, however much money, $4 or $5 sometimes, depending upon the drink and whatnot, I was like, maybe I can look into getting my own thing, and then I could make it at home. I could, serve my friends if they came over, type of thing. And so I sort of delved down into that hole that is espresso, and it's definitely gone deeper than most people will go. Most people don't really go to the lengths that I go. I've gone much deeper. So it's just become sort of a hobby where I try to make the best possible coffee that I can. Um,
Mm.
but you don't have to spend all sorts of expensive money in order to make good coffee. You can get yourself a simple V60 drip maker with a kettle, and you can make good coffee as long as you buy your fresh roasted coffee and everything and grind it fresh. If you're able to do that, that is best, and you can make good coffee that way. But yeah, it's just something that I've sort of fell down the rabbit hole, and it just became a hobby for me, and it's just stuck ever since. And I've been doing that for, geez, I don't know, maybe 5-ish years, something like that.
Well, I'm taking notes right here. I'm taking notes because I
Yeah,
know
well,
zero about I'm be honest with you, I'm a little guilty of the sweet Starbucks coffee. I went to Starbucks yesterday and they had like this new apple macchiato
mm, mm,
flavored nonsense, and I was
I'll
like,
tell you. Hey, Ash, don't listen. Listen, I might be Mr. Coffee connoisseur over here, all right? But I am also a basic fish, okay? I love my pumpkin spice lattes, all right? Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted, Ash. I like that stuff as well. I try to stay away from it due to the sugar content and whatnot, although you can get sugar-free versions sometimes, but that is my thing as well. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Tonda wants to know how you feel about cold brew.
Oh, cold brew is good stuff. I like cold brew. Hell yeah. Yeah. Cold brew is very nice, very potent. The cold brew method, which is usually brewed over like say a 24-hour period, very slow, sort of drippy process, actually takes out a lot of the acidity in the coffee, which is very nice. So for those that find regular iced coffee, which is just brewed hot and then shocked cold, to be a little too harsh, perhaps cold brew is a good way to go. It's yeah, less acidity and has a smoother taste.
I did not know that about cold brew. I'm going to try that next time I go somewhere now. I'm going to definitely try that. I really did not know about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're ever in any sort of specialty coffee shop, take a look around and see if they have one of these big cold brew type. It almost looks like a big sort of science thing going on, and it might swirl around and drip down into like a little cup at the bottom, like or something to contain it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting if you get to see one out in the wild. They're neat.
Yeah, and Kieran wants to know, do you have a favorite coffee bean?
Oh, geez. Yeah. So I definitely like a lot of Ethiopian, washed Ethiopian coffees are kind of my favorite. So again, we're kind of delving down into things that people don't really think too much about. But yeah, washed Ethiopian coffees are very nice. They're floral. They have fruity notes to them. So most coffee connoisseurs tend to like those. But it depends upon what you kind of like. So each bean in each country has different notes and flavors that come with those. So depending upon what your particular tastes are, you might like something different. But I find washed Ethiopian coffees to be rather nice. Now there's three different processes. There's wash, there's honey, and then there's natural. So that just depends upon the process, and that again, that just goes a little bit deeper. But yeah, it's all interesting stuff.
Wow. Well, I feel like I'm learning so much about coffee. I just was like, yo, give me like the whatever regular you got. Like now
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, I would like this bean, please. Thank you. I would like your finest cold brew. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay.
Of
So
course, my pleasure.
yo, chat, make sure to follow Caffeine Daydream. You could get all the lore about coffee if you want to learn about coffee.
I don't normally get this in depth with coffee talk on my channel, because although one of the things that I really wanted to do when I started up streaming was like, hey, I'm Caffeine Daydream, like I really like coffee. Hopefully I'll find other coffee, connoisseurs and people that are really into coffee and stuff. And kind of didn't.
Oh.
Unfortunately, but there are a lot of
You know
gamers out
what?
there, and it is a gaming platform. So
Maybe get like the coffee tag trending, like now
yeah.
that we could put whatever tag we want.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Coffee tag,
Yep. No, it's all good. It's all good. I had high hopes, and I have actually found a couple people here and there that are into coffee as much as I am. But yeah, no, it wasn't a flurry of people that are like coffee connoisseurs type of thing. So it's quite all right though. It's quite all right.
Okay.
I don't get into that type of talk normally in my channel during my streams, but happy to talk in Discord or offline or anything. You know, for the most
Okay.
part, when people have questions, I'm always there to answer them if anybody needs any help or anything.
That's good to know. Cold brew lovers tag. Let's go.
Yeah,
Okay.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
So, all right. So then, you know what? Tell us about what you do like to broadcast on your channel. I noticed that you did recently play Blasta and Rygar. What did you think about those games?
Oh, those were fun for sure. They're tough games. They're tough games. I do play a lot of. I've been on like a huge Nintendo retro kick lately. Honestly, I've been playing like a ton of them, just back to back to back, for the most part. But I've thrown in a little bit of indie stuff. I did start up Cuphead, which was a new game that I just got. A big shout out to my mod Tets for that. But yeah, I played like Double Dragon 2, Castlevania 2, Batman. Geez, what else? Life Force recently, Little Samson, Ninja Gaiden, Rygar. Yeah, I just like Darkwing Duck. Like I played a whole bunch of like first playthroughs of games that I haven't played before or never completed, either on stream or when I was like a kid or anything. So been like on a huge Nintendo retro kick lately. But yeah, like I said, I play like ton of everything. I've speedrun Metroid Dread in the past. I've speedrun Super Metroid. Done a lot of like SNES is my favorite system. So I've done a lot of SNES stuff. I played Zelda Ocarina of Time, just like tons and tons of different things. I've got a whole list of like games that I'm sort of looking at here just so I can remember. But off the top of my head, the funnest one that I did recently was a game called Holy Diver. Have you ever heard of that, Ash?
Yes, I definitely know about Holy Diver. I know people are trying to get me to play it, and I'm scared.
You need to do it, Ash. You need to do it. That's a fun game. I know Little Mixer and Cholk would definitely agree with me, especially Cholk. But no, Holy Diver is a very challenging, frustrating game. That definitely takes a lot of time. Imagine you die a lot, and it has a lot of bad mechanics to it, but there's something lovable sort of about it. I guess in a masochistic sort of way, right? That's the one I'm thinking of, right? Where you like pain for yourself. So it's an interesting game. That's one that I did recently as well. That's a tough one for sure. Yeah, no, I think another really fun game that was actually indie was Infernax. Like, did you played that one, right?
Yes, I did.
That was really fun. They reached out to me to do a sponsored stream for that, and I'm glad they did because that game was really fun to play and just a good time all around.
Yeah, I love Infernax. I really love the visual style too, and like the cutscenes that they have and stuff. It's like it's really cool. I feel like that might be a fun one to like speed run as well.
Yeah, I've seen some different people that have speed run that, and it looks interesting. And I don't dabble too much into speed running. I've done just a little bit here and there. Metroid Dread, like I said, was my last speed run that I did. I had a sub 1 hour and 30-minute time in the any percent category. It was glitchless. It wasn't the glitch category that some people are doing now, like Carter Freak is doing and stuff like that, where they're really pushing boundaries there. But yeah, I did the any percent glitches. Had like a sub 1 hour 30, which I never thought I would get, but I had this one supporter of mine, little cute girl, that was in my corner the whole time, which was really great. And even when I got sub 2, she was pushing for me. She was like sub 130, and I was like, "There's no way." And then when I got it, she's like, "I told you could do it." And I was like, "You did."
Yes,
I was like,
that's the power of Twitch chat. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
yeah,
So
she was there.
awesome.
She was with me the whole time. It was really great. That's a fun game to play, though. That's another one that I would recommend if anybody hasn't played it. And the one that Nintendo, I don't think, gives enough love to nowadays. I really wish they'd pay a little more attention to that franchise.
The Metroid.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like one
Zelda.
of your favorite franchises?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been playing Metroid since I was a young kid on the NES. Metroid One. I played that. I beat Zelda One when I was like 4.5, 5 years old, around that time frame. And so I've been playing games pretty much most of my life, pretty much all my life. But yeah, Zelda, Metroid, those types of long-lasting franchises were ones that I definitely my favorites for sure.
I love it. I Zelda is definitely one of my favorite IPs. I don't play enough Metroid. I think the only one I've ever played really from beginning to end was Super Metroid, but I
Hmm.
really want to get into like the GBA Metroids. And I really
Hmm.
did actually I did play a little bit of Dread, and Dread is really fun. I actually was able to like get out of getting killed. You know, like when those I forget what they're called, those robots that come after you.
The
Like,
Emmy, yep.
yeah, Emmy. Like I was able to like do the thing where I knocked them off of me, which is like hard to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. No, it's not easy. It's not easy to do, especially at first. I've watched a few different people play it, and definitely had struggle at it for a bit. But I think it's a really fun game. I think the team that did it did a really good job of it, and did a really good representation of what Metroid has become nowadays, and from a 2D aspect. And I definitely recommend it, and I think people should play it for sure. I wish more people did, and then hopefully Nintendo would realize just how great Metroid is. But yeah, I would
Yeah,
definitely and I would definitely suggest you look into those earlier 2D Metroid titles for sure. Check them out.
I will.
Check
I
them out.
will. I know it's like,
I recently sorry, I didn't want to
no,
interrupt you,
that's
but I
okay.
recently did Zero Mission and Fusion myself, which I had never played the handheld ones before. Um, I've played, Metroid 1, 2, SM, and then Dread, and I actually went back and played the other, Zero Mission and Fusion and some of those ones that they're really cool too. I definitely recommend those.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely want to play. So you enjoyed playing them? Like, I know that one of them has a connection to Metroid Dread. I can't remember which one, but I'm glad that you enjoyed those. That's great.
Yeah, the story kind of expands upon itself from title to title to title. So even with the first three, it's like you see that from Metroid 1 to 2, and then from 2 to 3, it's like you see the story sort of progressing and sort of builds upon itself. And I think it still does that to this day, although there might be some different timelines with like Prime games and stuff like that. It's sort of, I think it diverges a little bit there, but um there's an interesting timeline that sort of builds upon itself. So it's interesting to see where they're going to go next with the next Metroid game whenever they get around to making it. Because I think the prior build Metroid game was like 10 years before Dread, something like that.
Yeah. Like, come on, Nintendo, get it together. We need
That's
another
what
Metroid
I'm
game.
saying.
Come on.
I'm saying.
I just want to
Mom.
acknowledge BVC Vet just subscribed to my channel for 27 months. So I just want to say thank you so much to BVC Vet for that 27-month subscription. I really
We
appreciate
love
it.
to see it. We love to see it.
Thank you. Now, I do have one other question. Okay. I noticed that you said the word SNES. What do you think about the SNES versus SNES debate? There's always people that's like, oh, it's SNES. And or a better question, SNES versus SNES. Like there are people who
Oh,
will
so
fight me on that.
I don't know, man. I never really heard somebody make like a big deal like that. But if somebody is, I don't know. That sounds like semantics to me, man. I don't know. If yeah, you can call it SNES if you want to go SNES. Like it don't matter to my ears. I know what you're talking about anyway. But I've never heard somebody say SNES though. That's a new one.
Yes.
Is that that's a thing?
I think people from Europe that I met, they say
Oh,
SNES. Yeah, I noticed that. You say Super NES. So some people say
Super
Super
NES.
NES,
Oh,
SNES, or
see,
SNES.
it's not just regular NES. It's Super.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Exactly.
No, that's definitely my favorite system for sure. And it's got Secret of Mana
I
Ash.
know, which one of the ways I remember when the first times I hung out in your channel, you were playing Illusion of Gaia. Like the
Yep.
Super Nintendo RPGs. Are those some of your favorite games?
Yeah, I would say that. I don't play a ton of RPGs on my channel, but I have played some of them.
Yeah.
And I actually have a channel point redemption right now, which I think is close to three-quarters of the way there, to play Soul Blazer, which would be a first playthrough of me playing that. So yeah, I do enjoy a good RPG, and the SNES titles are ones that I certainly do enjoy, like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Illusion of Gaia. Terranigma was really neat, which I had played for the first time last year. I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, different SNES RPGs and stuff like that, I think are really great for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, did you see the announcement for the new Zelda game?
I did see it. Yeah, was it Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes. What did you think about that?
I think it looks really cool. Can I be honest with you though?
Sure.
I never even played Breath of the Wild.
Didn't. What was
I
the
didn't.
last Zelda game you played?
Um, I haven't played a lot of them, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Last one I played, like basically the newest one I played, I think is Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
I actually want to go back and play some of the handheld ones that I missed along the way, the Oracle of Ages, Seasons, like all that stuff that I like never played.
Yeah.
I actually want to go back and play them because I think I would like them.
I think you should definitely. I don't know if any of the handheld stuff. What would be the easiest way to play it? I don't know actually, because like I mean, obviously, Ocarina and Majora's Mask are on Nintendo Switch Online, but yeah, like
Hmm.
the last time I remember Oracle of Ages and Seasons being available was on like the Nintendo 3DS eShop, but I don't know if those are still available because of like the eShop is shutting down soon.
Yeah. My son has a 3DS, and I did get that email that was like talking about the content on there and what you need to do with it because they're shutting it down and whatnot.
Yeah. Did you? Okay, so since the Nintendo Direct was yesterday, did you watch it? And if you did, was there anything that you thought was interesting that you might want to get?
Let's see. I don't know. There was some interesting thing. I thought like Octopath Traveler looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
I know like the Pikmin 4 game sort of stuck out because I know Grunt had recently played Pikmin, like I think the first one.
Yes.
And so there was a couple of games that sort of stuck out that I was like, I took notice of, but I don't really buy like a ton of new games. I think the newest game I bought was probably Dread. But I'm like, I have so much in the backlog of different things that I tend to not like get a whole lot of newer stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I thought I was, what I was really hoping out for, and I think Oats and Goats would probably back me up on this, but is the Prime stuff, that like the Prime remasters that like everybody was sort of holding on to a glimmer of hope that they might actually release or speak about, and they didn't say a damn thing. So
Maybe when they're like ready to talk about Metroid Prime 4, maybe they might say, oh, and by the way, we're also bringing Prime back, or,
mhm.
something like that. Maybe that's going to be the time, but I don't know. I don't know.
Holding out hope, but once again they left us high and dry. But no, big ups to all the people that enjoyed Breath of the Wild and now got Tears of the Kingdom to, was it I hope I'm not mispronouncing that now, but the second one to look forward to and get hyped up about.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good holiday season for Nintendo. Hopefully
Yeah,
there'll
I
be
think
something
Night
there.
Knight said he played the first one offline and really liked the mechanic of the swords, like not being constant, where they break and you have to sort of like find interesting ways to deal with enemies and all that stuff. So um
You
I mean,
know,
it looks cool. It looks cool. I don't think that doesn't look cool. I just never played it, and maybe if I did play it, maybe I'd like it.
yeah. Yeah. I was hoping for Nintendo to remember the GameCube in any way. Tears for Fears is not the title. Very funny. A lot of people hate the weapon durability. Yeah, you know what? In Breath of the Wild, that was something that kind of I wish I hope that they address in the next one, in the next game. They don't bring
Mhm.
that back 'cause
You would like to see more of the constant, like, I got my sword and I can use it how much I want type of
yeah,
thing?
or if they are gonna have weapon durability, at least make like legendary weapons not
Mhm.
breakable or last a little bit longer. Like my master sword should not be running out of power. That's why it's the master sword. Like,
Right? Yeah, that's the legendary sword, right? It's like, shouldn't be breaking in half type of thing. It's not a twig, it's the
right.
master sword. It's the master
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Speaking of which, they did also announce Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 will be coming to the Switch. But speaking of Pokemon, can you tell us about who your favorite Pokemon is and why does Vaporeon fit into the mix there?
Oh no. Oh no. Not like this.
I was looking at some of your TikToks and you make some very fun and funny content. Tell us a little bit about what makes a great clip and why you
You
put them
know,
on TikTok.
I don't take myself, terribly seriously sometimes, especially when I'm streaming. I like to just have some fun. So, if somebody's gonna ask me what my favorite, Pokemon is, of course I'm gonna say Vaporeon, right?
Uh-huh.
And of course I'm gonna try to ham it up and I'm gonna try to have some fun with it and be ridiculous because it's streaming and we're here to have some fun and enjoy ourselves. So yeah, I may have done some questionable things on stream that might have got clipped and used on the TikTok, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Vaporeon definitely it definitely was in there. So I might have made a couple noises. I might have made a fool of myself, but hey, it's all in the interest of having fun and just a good time. So like I said, I'm here to have some fun. I'm here to make some friends and enjoy myself and just it put on a little bit of entertainment. So
It's you
if
know
if
what?
it's it gets some
People
laughs, I'm okay with it.
people remember how something you does make them feel. If you make them laugh, you make them, remember something interesting, I think you hit the mark, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not above making a little fool of myself now and again for a good laugh. So, and in the name of entertainment. So, I'm it's quite all right. I don't take myself too seriously. I mean, I've got work to do that, right? To be
Yeah.
all uptight and prim and proper. So streaming is an escape and it's a form of entertainment. So I like to utilize that.
So, okay, with that being said about, how you like it to be a form of entertainment and things like that, what do you hope to achieve on Twitch? Like, what do you think about every day when you go live? Like, where do you see your channel going also? And like, what do you want to do on Twitch?
Um, you know, I think what I'm doing lately has really been what I want to do. Like, I just do this to really hang out with people and just have a good time. So I started my channel at like sort of peak pandemic around, it was August 31st, 2020. And, people were home. I think a lot of people started streaming and trying something new. And it was just a way to connect with people while being home. And so I'm sort of continuing that. I mean, obviously, I have the Twitch quote unquote goal of like becoming partner and whatnot, like all affiliates, I think, or, might have that goal. Everybody's different, um, beyond that, I just want to have fun, enjoy myself and have a good time and a few laughs with my viewers. So if I'm doing that, I think I'm doing exactly what I want to do. It, I just like to have some fun and play some games and enjoy myself. So I think I'm kind of doing that. Although I obviously people want to grow, they want to do cool things, and being able to make your stream a place where people want to come and hang out is obviously, I think, a goal for people. So I would say that's a goal for me, is just to have a place where people know they can come have fun and enjoy themselves and want to be entertained and enjoy being there and make sort of a friendship out of the people that are there and everything. So besides that, obviously for some people, this is not like a full-time gig for me. For some people, it is an income-based thing. They want to be able to support themselves. I have a full-time job, so mostly that's that's not something that I Although, who doesn't want to make some money out of doing something? But for me, it's like my full-time job takes care of everything. So really, I'm here to have some fun and enjoy myself. But if you can make some money, great. If you can't, oh well. But as long as I have some viewers and I'm playing some games, I'm having some fun, and people are enjoying themselves, that's for me, that's terrific. Yeah, and that's cool.
So that's what success looks like to you on Twitch, to be able to
Yeah,
hang out.
if listen, I guess if I'm being honest, like if who, like I don't know, who, as a person who has a family, right? I have responsibilities. I have a family. I have kids. I have bills. Like obviously, making some money would be great, but that's not the end goal. And I have something to be able to do that. So that's doesn't matter too much to me. But as long as I'm having some fun with people and meeting some new people, that's cool, man. Like honestly, but everybody's got different goals. So it's like as long as I'm having fun and enjoying myself, that's cool.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So, like I said, you celebrated your 2-year anniversary on Twitch, and you obviously learned a lot along the way. Like, tell us a little bit about what you learned along the way, and like how you brought your broadcast from point A to point B. When you
Hmm.
started to where you are now.
Well, geez, that's a tough question. But along the way, it's
Like, would you say
how can I
maybe
answer?
you learned like about, how to improve the quality, like things with your camera, like maybe things that you've learned from other broadcasters, like anything
True,
like that?
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So definitely, my stream as a whole has come a long way for sure. And I started out by playing Fall Guys with no cam and no mic at all. And so everybody has to start somewhere. And it was just like Fall Guys on a screen. I can't even talk to you. Like you can't even see me. And so I would just type in the chat like in between rounds and I'd be like, hi everybody, or like maybe there was one person there or two people there that like I was friends with, like because I was coming off of being a member of like Oats and Goats community. So I knew people there and we would hang out and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna stream. So like, there might be somebody that came by and it was just like, hey, playing a game, like and so then it became like, okay, you get a mic, like it's people need to hear you, like that's first and foremost. Like if people can hear you, they don't mind if they can't see you. And especially if your audio is good, that's like number one. That's so key.
Right.
So get a good mic. And then so I got a mic. I tried to get everything situated, and then I ended up like watching Nutty and like watching his videos and checking out other people, and so learning from him and seeing like his setup, and I was like, he's got a good setup. He's got a good cam. Like, what is he using? And then I got myself the Lumix G7 DSLR, and it's like, okay, like I just wanted to like avoid having to purchase more than one thing. So I was like, what's a good mic that I can get that just like I won't have to buy another one later down the road? What's a good cam that I can buy that I won't have to buy another one down the road? That's like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to like buy something and then have buyer's remorse and then get something else and waste money.
Right.
Um, I'm a big quality over quantity person, so I wanted to make the right decisions from the get go, type of thing, I guess. But not everybody goes that route. But for me personally, I'm quality over quantity. So a lot of people will say, "Hey, just get yourself a cheap mic, like cheap webcam, and that's good enough." I mean, you're a small streamer, you're just starting out. I kind of like went a bit bigger with my
Yeah.
setup, which again is different, but that was just my journey. And
Yeah.
so I definitely learned a lot about OBS, which still confuses me to this day. I don't know if it does to anybody else, but OBS confuses the ever loving crap out of me most of the time. But I've definitely learned a lot about how to utilize it, how to add things to the stream, how to do things. And if I can't figure it out, there's always great people that are around to help out. There's great videos that are around. There's great resources that are available to you either on YouTube or from other streamers. I mean, Nutty, Carefree Bomb, the Dastardly Dave, like LEJSC. There's just so many great people that are out there that can help you. And if you got a question, they're usually more than willing to help you out and answer that question. If it's something genuine that like people don't like to be ripped off. If you're just trying to rip off whatever they've made, like they might be hesitant to help you out. But if you're
Yeah.
like, you got a fresh idea, something that you want to implement, sure, they'll help you out. No problem. Why
Yeah.
not?
I love that. I love that you're able to identify immediately people who you look to and people that have helped you. I feel like that's something really, really important in this space that doesn't get talked about enough is that if you make this a space of I want to help other people, I want to test with other people, have conversations with other people about what works and what doesn't work. Like that right there is what
Hmm.
helps others grow and I feel like helps you to kind of identify also things that work and things that don't work because if you're the only one you might think oh I'm a unique case but then once you find out it's like oh no like 10 people dealt with this same issue
Oh
uh,
yeah.
how are we
Yep.
helping each other out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's why I think that's why people make these videos that are out there on YouTube for different cases because they dealt with an issue and they're like, certainly somebody else is going to deal with this issue and going to want to find an easy way to deal with it and not have to go through all this stuff. So then you get all these great YouTube videos out there. And that's why Nutty's like doing so well as he is, man, because he's such a genius with like all the different OBS stuff, adding things to your stream. He's been doing this like for forever, man. If you've ever watched his history video, that man was putting stuff in his streams when nobody was doing it. It's
Yeah.
like it's just it's wild to see. And so he's getting the recognition that he deserves nowadays, that when he was an SM speedrunner, like he wasn't getting that type of recognition. So it's wonderful to see. And yeah, there's just there's a whole plethora of things that you can do with OBS now. With OBS 28, it's like they're continuing to add different new things, with WebSocket being like directly in, and
Yeah.
StreamerBot and just VikuBot, just like
I love
there's so many cool things that go on.
See, well, first of all, I love streamer.bot. Like, definitely. I love Nutty's videos. I've honestly improved so much from my broadcast because of him, because of people like R Knight. R Knight helped me with my like video quality, sound quality, all
Yep,
that
yep.
stuff. Like it takes a village, you know what I'm saying? It really does. It really
For
does.
sure, for sure. No, yeah, and you'd be surprised how often somebody else has like a similar or even the same idea as you. I was like, damn, I want to do this. I want to do this redeem where like Sabin from Final Fantasy VI will come on your screen and will like suplex your cam and stuff. And then Carefree Bomb was like, dude, I just made that. And I was like, wait, what? he's like, yeah. He's like, I like, and he showed it to me, and it literally Sabin comes out of nowhere and suplexes his cam, and it's like so dope. And I'm like, damn, man, like
That's awesome,
it's
though.
it's tough to have a fresh idea in these parts. Like he's really good with what he does as well. And so there's just a lot of cool things going on with OBS. I mean, it's not like, I know somebody like Knight he spoke about like during his journey, like he sort of stripped everything down, and it was like cam, game, chat, like,
That's
and
it.
that was kind of it. And I can completely admire that, man. I certainly can. Like Oates, I think, is the same exact way. It's like cam, game, chat, and it's like gameplay and all of that. But I've always like wanted to add these cool different like things to my stream and see what I can do with it and come up with ideas. It's just coming up with ideas, but then executing it is the tough thing for me, unfortunately, because I'm not technically inclined enough half the time to be able to do it. But when I get some help, or if I'm able to do it, then you get to see some really cool things come out of it. I think it's great.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much to Lifted Senses for the tier 1 sub for 3 months. Thank you for that support. We're just here talking to
Lifted.
Caffeine Daydream, talking shop, talking about, coffee, our favorite Pokemon, talking about all kinds of stuff. So, if you've got any questions for Caffeine, please put them in the chat. Yo, what's up? Thank you so much for that tier 1 sub for 3 months.
Bring it.
That's what we're talking
What's
about.
up, everybody?
So, okay, I've got a question for you then, because, obviously we've been talking about, all the things that really encompass what it was like to start off and things like that. If, like, let's pretend, hey, I'm brand new to Twitch. My name is Ash. I want to start a channel. What's the first thing you would tell me to do when I'm starting my own Twitch channel?
Hmm. Well, hi, Ash. A pleasure to meet you. My name's CaffeineDayDream.
Hi.
Uh, I would probably say, like I mentioned earlier, get yourself a mic, get yourself something that will be good for you, depending upon your budget, depending upon your needs. I think that's first and foremost, honest. Getting a good mic, I think, is great because if people can hear you, that's 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 fine as long as your audio is good. Video is not like a complete necessity, but audio is key. And so I would say get yourself a mic when you can, is like kind of as soon as possible. Um, Learn how to use OBS, I think would be another good one. Like check out some videos. If you need help, people are there for you, but definitely learn your way around. I would say stay away from slobs, but stick with OBS, and then set yourself a schedule, like find out what works for you, get a good consistent schedule, get that in. And obviously circumstances change, things change, like your schedule might change, but finding a good schedule that works for you, I think, is good, so then people will learn. But I think also just meeting people in like communities, like find yourself somebody that like you can get in with, and then start meeting them. Come to the streams, say hi to them, learn the community, like make friends, because if you just try to like stream out of the get-go, like who's really going to come and see you, who's going to find you? Like we all know discoverability can be tough on Twitch, so I think finding a community that you fit in with, that you vibe with, and then meeting people, making some friends, and then hopefully they will come check you out, like as your first viewers and stuff. And then so you've got some community members that'll come. You've learned OBS, and you've got your audio. So I think those are kind of like key things that will help you to get started.
I think those are some really good points. And I really love that you also touched on the Twitch discoverability being an opportunity here. Because I always have been like a big, like, a big fan of Twitch clips. And I feel like Twitch clips are such an underutilized tool that we have. Cosmic Gamer said hello from your community. What a cutie.
Yo, Cosmic, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
So, I agree with you there. Like, I feel like, we have to use our clips on other platforms to hopefully get people to transition over to become viewers on our Twitch channel.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Grunt, hello,
yeah, you got to do
Grunt.
what you can.
Yeah.
You got to do what you can, honestly. Yo, what's up, Grunt? How you doing, man? You got to do what you can, because obviously that's still an issue. And so whatever you can do to utilize either other platforms or just finding somebody on Twitch, I think, is another great way to find a community that you like, that fits in with you, and then just meet those people and just make friends, like sort of keep coming back. And I think they hopefully, if you're not a complete jerk, they'll start to like you, and you'll make friends. So
Yeah.
honestly, I think those are the key things, I think. So
I feel like another tool that they underutilize too, that I really hope that gets more light, is the Teams tool, because I feel like that's another great way to have people, like, if you want to bounce a question off of somebody, or if you're having trouble with somebody, having the team that you're a part of be that resource, for like, oh, well, hey, I want to try out this new feature. Will you take a look and tell me what you think about it? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. It can be, for sure. There are some teams that are like that like sort of exist. They don't give you like a ton of feedback or anything. They're sort of laid back. But then there are some teams that are really more in depth, and people get together and you can discuss different things, and you can, like you said, you can bounce ideas off them and do different things like that. So I think it's sort of, it's a little hit and miss with teams. But hopefully, if you find yourself in a good one, then like you said, those resources will be there for you, and the individuals and the team members will help you out if you've got any questions, and we'll be there to help you for sure.
Definitely. Yep, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Shout out Team Sanctuary. Shout out Team Sanctuary.
Hey man, we're trying. I really appreciate that. So yeah. Oh, you know what? Speaking of discoverability too, I know we wanted to touch on the topic of the host button going away. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, yeah. So that's sort of a hot topic nowadays, and I know a lot of people are up in arms about it, and crying foul and all this stuff. But what does it really? At the end of the day, does it really help? Obviously it feels good, like, right? If somebody hosts you, it's like, that's awesome, man. Thank you for that. It's like it's another way that you hope that, like, somebody might find you. Um, not not that it couldn't happen. It can. It's sort of a rarity, though, is the thing. So I find that I've put a bunch of people in my auto host list, right? So if I've got these different friends, like, and people that I look up to, like, they're already in my auto host list. So I don't do a ton of, like, manual hosting on my, like, in my channel, but I get it. It seems like Twitch is taking something away, but I think it's something that doesn't really help that much. And there was the thought that it might boost you in some sort of algorithm, or help out in the recommended or something like that, which I don't think is the case. I think it's sort of a misnomer that, like, that it was helping you in some sort of way beyond that, like, somebody would need to click into a channel in order to find you. I don't think that's happening. So in a similar way that, like, misinformation goes around about, like, raids and how those affect you and different things. So yeah, I don't think it's quite as helpful of a thing as it once was, because obviously this goes back a long way to where hosting, there was no rating. It was you host the channel, and so back then that was all there was. So this was even before I joined the platform. So so then rating came along, and then rating is the thing, and it's like, why is hosting sort of even here type of, it's sort of, they just never took it away until now. They're sort of like, well, maybe we should just get rid of it. I don't know. So it just seems like perhaps the resources might be better utilized somewhere else. They might be able to build something better, maybe. But as long as ratings here, I think that's the better option anyway. But I understand that it seems like they're taking something away that did something, but it doesn't seem like it does too much.
You know what? I really love that you brought up the fact of, oh, the resources that are going into it can be allocated to somewhere else. And that's kind of how I looked at it. And exactly like what you said, like, rating
Hmm.
does what hosting does, but better, like,
Yeah.
it's like, hosting, you still have to click off of the original person's broadcasting that did the host and then go to the live person's channel. So it's like, if you're going to the
Yeah.
live person's channel anyway, like, it's kind of redundant. And also,
Hmm.
if you host somebody while you're offline and somebody goes to your channel while you're offline, they're not seeing your channel, they're seeing the other person's channel, like, especially if you do that through like mobile or whatever, or if I use like the
Yeah.
TikTok app and then I click the link and then go to your channel. So it's kind of like misleading a bit. And I think, like,
Hmm.
with tools like this, like, you know um guest star and like all the tools that Twitch was announcing in their last updates and stuff and patch notes, with the shout out commands and highlighting messages and pinning messages and all that stuff. There's so
Yep.
many more ways. And then also the things that were already released, like, the emote artists attributing and all that thing. Those are way better tools for sharing other creators and bringing visibility to other creators. So I think you made some really good points there. And I think that sometimes it's like a knee-jerk reaction to, like,
Hmm.
change, and
Yeah.
people don't like change, especially when it's a
No,
platform they love and it's the same
people
way for
do
a long
not.
time.
People do not. I saw this. I realized this a long time ago. Even going back to like being on Facebook, it's like whenever Facebook would make a change to the way things looked, people would go nuts. They hated it. And it would take time for them to like accept it.
Yeah.
People do not like change is a fundamental thing, I think. So it doesn't matter what it is. So yeah, with this happening, it just seems like they're taking something away, but hopefully something better will come along. I love the shout out feature. I can't wait for that to be implemented. I think that's going to be cool. And so I guess we'll see. It's always an ever changing thing. But hopefully good things will come out of it. I hope they fix the Twitch VOD track issue, honestly.
Yeah, that would be good also. That would definitely be good. Well, you
Yeah.
know what? Caffeine Daydream, we are getting close to the hour mark. Usually the show is about an hour long. If anybody in chat has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, so we could ask those before we head on out, because I know you're about to do a broadcast yourself. We're going to raid into your channel so that way everybody knows to follow you and go and hang out with you. But before you go, is there any last parting words that you want to share? Anything about your channel you really want people to know that you don't usually get to talk about? Anything you want to put out there for people to know about you?
Um, you know, as far as my channel goes, I think I probably hit on everything. Um, if you enjoy good gameplay, good community, and or if you really like coffee, hey, come hit me up. So come check me out. It's we just like to have some fun, enjoy ourselves. So we don't take it too seriously. And sure, I might rage a little bit from now and again. I mean, TMNT had it coming, so
I mean,
but
that's what
otherwise, no.
happens when you play NES games. People
Oh
love
my
the
god.
pain.
TMNT had me wild in a little bit, but that's a little bit of a rarity. But I felt like my inner little mixer was coming out there. But but honestly, I just want to thank you for putting this on. I want to thank you for having me as your third person here behind Street Grind and behind Night, two really great and legendary people on Twitch. So thank you so much for having me here. I want to thank everybody in chat for tuning in and hanging out with us. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for all the questions as well that people had. And yeah, just thank you everybody for being here and sharing your time with us. I know it's precious. So I appreciate y'all coming through.
Oh, no, I appreciate you saying that. And I learned a lot today about you and about coffee and about all kinds of stuff. That was really, really great. I'm so glad that we got to share a little bit of time together today. And I put your link in the chat. I'm going to put it again so that way people know to give you a follow. Also, I know you're going to go live
It
soon.
does.
Oh, and thank you, Out of Nonsense, for that tier 1 sub for 34 months. I really appreciate that. But yeah, thank you so much for taking
Love it.
time out of your day. I know you're very busy. Like you said, you balance, work life, family life, broadcasting life. So thank you so much. Hey, what's that? What was that blinky stuff? That's cool.
I'm assuming it was probably somebody following the channel.
Oh, that's
I'm assuming.
cool. I like that you have your. See, that's cool. I didn't know that your lights did that. That's really dope. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I've got it set up. Thank you, Lumia Stream. I partner me, but I've got the lights set up. So when something happens, they trigger.
Okay, well, awesome. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. Like I said, again, everybody, there's Caffeine Daydreams link in the channel. Where else can people follow you? I know they can follow you on Twitch, but where else? And remind them what days you stream.
Oh yeah, so I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on Twitch, obviously, but I'm also on Twitter, very active on Twitter. And so I'm also on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Hover, and YouTube as well. So I'm pretty much everywhere. I have a channel everywhere. I upload my VODs to YouTube, which I've been doing since about 6 months after I started, which is really great. I think that's another thing that I would add to our earlier conversation about like somebody starting up. like starting out for the first time, I think that's really cool idea that I actually got from Nutty as well, is keeping your VODs and actually uploading them to somewhere else like YouTube. So then you've got that archive. I think he's also got a really big backlog. But yeah, I'm on pretty much every platform, and I stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays very consistently. Currently Monday, Wednesdays I start at about 5:30 ish Eastern time, and then Fridays normally about 7 p.m. Eastern. So later on the day after work, but then we go to around 12 midnight or something like that Eastern,
That's
depending, yeah. And yeah, we have a charity stream that's going to be coming up end of October. So
Oh,
that's another thing that we're going to be doing.
and do you know what charity it is that you're going to be raising money for?
I think that's cancer research.
Okay.
Cancer research. Yep.
Oh.
So that going to be getting prepared for that, and but yeah, come join us for some cool retro gameplay. We're going to be continuing Master Blaster.
Okay, awesome. And I can't wait to see what your charity incentives are going to be. Like, what can we
Oh,
do? Are we going to make Caffeine Daydream eat a coffee bean? Like, what are we going to do? I can't wait to see. I can't wait to.
we'll see. We'll see.
All
We'll see.
right.
I knew somebody that would do that though. There was another guy that enjoyed coffee that he had a redemption to do that.
Wow. That's a lot of caffeine for me.
Oh, a lot of bean eating.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time once again. I really appreciate it. Everyone go make sure to follow Caffeine Daydream. I'm going to say adios so you can start up your broadcast and then we can go and raid into your channel. So, yeah,
All right,
thank you
cool.
so much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
My pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Bye.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining in on that conversation. I really loved having Caffeine Daydream over, getting to learn everything about his channel, having a nice conversation with him. The next person's going to be Nevanos. That's going to be Friday at 1 p.m. We're going to have a nice little chat with Nevanos from the Awesome Streamer Hour. And if anybody out there wants to be a part of it, feel free to hit me up. We can have a nice little conversation using Guest Star, which is the new Twitch tool. It's really fun. Leave it when we're having such a nice time. I know, Schnitz, I know. I'm gonna go make some dinner and then go hang out with Caffeine myself. Oh no, I'm gonna blow everything up. You're gonna do great. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So I'll see you. I'm gonna be back live tomorrow at my normal time for In-Stream Arcade. But thank you so much, chat, for your great and thoughtful questions. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's go hang out with Caffeine Daydream, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everybody.